In under a minute, the anime Frieren delivers masterful character development. Frieren's true feelings about Flam's death are hidden right there in the little details. Searching for Flam's notes, Frieren and her group come across a massive tree. Frieren recognizes it as the one Flame planted 1,000 years ago. Back then, when Frieren saw Flame planting it, she thought the tree wouldn't do squat for protection. But Flame insisted that once it grew, it could protect this place even 1,000 years later. To which Frieren replied, brutally honest, "You'll be dead by then, right?" Pay close attention to Frieren's expression and how she moves when she says this. Her words sound like she doesn't care about Flame dying, but that look in her eyes, staring off somewhere else, and the way she's holding her arms behind her back, that gives her away. It's pure avoidance. Deep down, she doesn't want to face the fact that her teacher will die. She just feels powerless to stop it. So she shuts down, acts cold, puts on this whatever attitude about losing someone she loves. It's awkward, yeah, but painfully real. And when Flama stands up, Frieren snaps her gaze right back to her teacher. That tells you she knows her words hit hard, especially for a human like Flam. If she truly didn't care about Flame living or dying, she would have just kept staring off into space. She wouldn't have bothered looking back after saying something like that. So just from this tiny moment, it's clear Frieren gets human emotions. She understands the pain, but to protect herself, she walls it all off. After her teacher died, she just lived alone. Can you blame her? An elf with endless life? How many times could she bear to watch the people who matter most to her die? We've all been fooled. Frieren is a total liar. She never tells the truth. She said she didn't want a disciple, that human lives are too short. Taking one on would be a waste of time. But then she took Fern as her disciple and travels with her. She said her adventure with Himmel wasn't even 1% of her life, but she gambled on a chest anyway for that tiny 1% chance. She claimed she didn't want to see Himmel now, but when Eisen said she wanted to understand Himmel, she turned away and stayed silent. When she spoke about Flam's death, she looked away, unable to face her teacher. Was she really lying to us? Of course not. She was lying to herself, trying to numb her own feelings, trying to brace herself early for the fact that her disciple, Himmel, and her master would leave her. Even with a 99% chance of a mimic, she opened the chest, all for that 1%. She won. That decade-long adventure with Himmel was the treasure she unlocked. It opened her heart. After taking a disciple, her journey stopped being lonely. Fern's always there, traveling with her, handling her daily stuff, showing her new sights. The tears she shed after Himmel and Hyder died, that was regret. Regret for not understanding them better. So now she wants to see Himmel, and along her journey, she helps those in need just like Himmel did, carrying on his spirit. After her master died, she covered Flam's grave with her master's favorite flower field magic, and she's never forgotten her master's teachings. Frieren's the kind of person who says one thing but does another, and maybe that's exactly why we love her so much. What on earth made Eisen's eyes go so wide? Turns out it was Frieren's change that shocked him. Eisen met Frieren again 28 years after Himmel's death. Right away, he noticed how different she was. Frieren had taken on a disciple. In Eisen's memory, Frieren was totally against having disciples. She believed even the most talented one would grow old in the blink of an eye. But now, seeing her with a disciple, that genuinely surprised Eisen. Yet that wasn't the most surprising thing. While searching for Flam's notes, Eisen mentioned the process might take a long time, but then he looked at Frieren and realized he was wrong. For elves, time is the one thing they never lack. But this time, Frieren gave an unexpected answer. She wanted to hurry because Fern wouldn't like it taking too long. When you watch this part, pay close attention to everyone's expressions. When Eisen heard Frieren say that, he was stunned. He turned to stare at her. He never imagined Frieren would start caring about someone else's time. That was what shocked Eisen the most. Frieren explained it by saying Fern gets scary when she's mad, but it's not just Frieren who changed. Eisen's gotten a bit sneaky too. Frieren didn't want to go north to that place in the book, but Eisen said that was exactly the task he wanted to entrust to her. Frieren was taken aback and said, "Eisen, you've picked up bad habits from Hyder. So, do you think Frieren really rushed just because she was afraid of Fern getting angry? Tell me in the comments." The one person who should have become a first-class mage, I bet nobody surpasses her in this specific magic. That's Edel. She was unfortunately eliminated in the second exam and never reached the third. If she had made it to Sari's test, Sari would have absolutely passed her. Her hypnosis magic, simply the strongest in the world, bar none. Method showed us hypnosis magic's limits. She could easily control Fern, but not Frieren. Yet Method stated that Edel's hypnosis magic was even stronger than her own. Maybe Edel could break through Frieren's mental defenses and actually restrain her. In the upcoming second season's The Golden Land arc, she's even shown repairing the Stone Bracelet of Servitude, a magical artifact created in mythical times. She can examine and fix it without even touching it. She also possesses memory transference spell and can read humans' memories. Not only that, she can also read the memories of demons, a feat that's extremely difficult and painful due to the fundamental differences between human and demon minds. Frieren herself calls Edel an incredible hypnosis magic user for reading Macht's memories, and Frieren praises Edel again after Denkin tells her Edel obtained 100 years worth of memories with a single touch. Edel is also able to transfer memories from herself to another, or vice versa. That's what a truly powerful mental mage looks like. I firmly believe if she faced Saria's test, she'd have passed like Uber, without saying a word, because perhaps the moment she saw Saria, they'd already clashed on the mental battlefield. Saria would never let talent like that slip away. Let's see what Edel brings in Season 2. So, suppressing your magic doesn't just fool demons, it fools humans too. That's why Denkin lost his fight against Frieren. At the start of their battle, both Denkin and Frieren stuck to basic attack and defense spells. This kind of fighting, it's a straight-up war of attrition. And for an old guy like Denkin, an endurance contest was a guaranteed loss. So, his plan was to unleash a massive area of effect spell. He wanted to force Frieren to block it with a fully deployed defensive barrier, draining her magic power fast. To stop Frieren from just flying out of range, Denkin first used a tornado spell. That whipped up a crazy powerful wind. Flying in wind like that? Good luck controlling your direction. Then he hit her with the gale-enveloped incineration spell, blanketing the whole area where Frieren was stuck, unable to fly away. So, anyone caught by that move, their only option is to block it head-on with a full defensive shield. The fact Denkin tried this trick on Frieren shows he was pretty confident in it. He thought it could really drain his opponent dry. Even if it didn't drain her completely, it would still take a serious chunk out of her magic. After all, before the fight even started, Denkin had been watching Frieren closely. He'd sized up her magic power level pretty well. What Denkin didn't figure on, Frieren was constantly holding her magic power back. That meant the whole strategy he'd based on his assessment just didn't work. You could see it, right? Even after blocking Denkin's big attack with that full defensive shield, Frieren looked exactly the same. Not a hint that her magic was any lower. Meanwhile, Denkin, he just used that huge area spell. His magic was definitely running on fumes. So yeah, Frieren takes the win. Obviously, he's seriously the most underrated guy in Frieren, beyond Journey's End. Hyder was actually stronger than the 7 Sages of Destruction. We all think of priests as just healers, right? But when Hyder first met Frieren, he claimed his magical power was 5 times greater than hers. Now, Frieren was suppressing her magic at the time. When Aura saw Frieren with her magic suppressed, she said Frieren's suppressed level was equivalent to a century of training. That means Hyder's magic back then was like 500 years of training. Fast forward 80 years, Aura calls herself a 500-year-old demon, which means during the hero party's quest to defeat the Demon King, Hyder already outclassed Aura, one of the 7 Sages of Destruction. But Hyder's strength wasn't just about raw magic. As a priest with the goddess's divine protection, he could nullify almost any curse. His insanely powerful invisibility magic made protected people undetectable by mana sensing. Even Frieren couldn't sense it. He could also cast the spell that allows survival without food, water, or oxygen, letting affected people survive without those essentials. Hyder could maintain this spell for around 2 months. That's an insane survival skill. Still, as a member of the party that took down the Demon King, he obviously packed serious power. Honestly, his god-tier support skills probably ensured they defeated the Demon King without a single casualty. We all missed this detail. The ending of Frieren Beyond Journey's End was actually hinted at right in the start. Bet you totally didn't catch these 2 hidden details in the anime EDs. First, let's seriously listen to the opening lines of the first ending song. And then the opening lines of the second ending song. This call and response style in the lyrics, it's like Frieren, after her long, hard journey, finally reaching the heavenly aureole, nervously and hopefully calling out to the legendary Himmel. And Himmel hears her call and answers back. The whole reason Frieren set out on this journey to the place people call heaven, aureole, was just to talk to Himmel again. She wasn't even sure if the legend was real. After all, the only clue came from Faum's notes. But the desire to see Himmel again, finally tell him all the things she wanted him to know, those first 2 greeting lines in the songs, they feel like Frieren finally seeing Himmel, but with that barrier between life and death still there. So she tentatively tries saying, "Are you alright? Can you hear me?" And then pours out all the stories from her journey, telling Himmel everything she's felt. And Himmel listens gently to Frieren's words, her experiences, feelings. Then he says, "I am alright. I can hear you." I think this is the scene we're all desperately waiting for. So when Frieren and Himmel finally reunite, do you think she'll be smiling as she talks to him? Or will she break down crying like the day she buried him? Tell me in the comments.